Hey friends, so I'm back in Russia. Can you guess where I am? Well, this place kind of looks random and it can be anywhere in Russia, I guess. I'm in the Kaliningrad region, in Kaliningrad more specifically, and today I'm gonna tell you everything about how I came here and what's going on. So if you're interested, get comfy and let's start. Well, firstly, I wanted to say that it's my second attempt recording this video. A week ago, I went to this beautiful place next to Kaliningrad. I went there by train. I was recording this video by the sea. I really loved the picture because the sea waves in the background looked so beautiful. But then I came home and I watched the video. Turned out that the sound was just terrible. Even though I was recording with a microphone, the sound of waves was so strong that you could barely hear me, and then I tried to edit the video and it just turned out terrible. And then I thought that I just couldn't do this to you, and I decided to record it one more time. So here we are. Now I'm in this botanical garden in Kaliningrad. I think it's a really nice place because it's quiet, there are no people here, and it's a perfect spot for recording a video. If you've been following my channel, probably know that in the last 6 months I was in Georgia. Actually, I went to Georgia at the end of April. I decided to live there for a while, and it was such a great experience for me because I've met some amazing people. I traveled around, I saw the beautiful mountains, the sea. It was just beautiful, but when the fall was coming, at some point I just had this feeling that it was time to move on and to leave. It's kind of hard to explain why I had this feeling. Of course, there were some reasons, and in general, I just felt that I needed to go. As for the reasons, there were just so many questions that I needed to figure out and some tasks that I needed to do. I don't want to bore you with details, but basically there were some questions related to bureaucracy and some logistics related questions because in Georgia it was getting colder and colder and all my winter clothes was in Russia, and it was kind of hard to send a package from Russia to Georgia, so I needed to go to Russia anyways. And then winter holidays are coming. I wanted to see my family and spend some time with them. I decided to come back to Russia for a while, and then I started thinking where in Russia I could go. Before, I lived in St. Petersburg for like 8 years. Also, I lived in Izhevsk, which is my hometown, for a long time, but this time I wanted to try out something different. I've been to Kaliningrad. I went here at the beginning of this year for the first time, and I thought that it was a very interesting place that I wanted to explore more and spend some time here. I decided to give it a try and come here. If you ask me what my plan is, it's kind of hard to say. In the last couple of years, I've just learned that it's kind of hard to predict what's gonna happen. Of course, I do make long-term plans, but I've learned that it's important to leave some room for improvisation. I don't know if it's just me or you felt the same way, that the world is really unstable right now. It's kind of hard to plan. Originally, I thought that I would spend some time in Kaliningrad and then in spring come back to Georgia, but now, yeah, the situation is changing. If you've been following the news, probably you know what's going on in that region, and I really don't know what's gonna happen in spring. So I guess we will see. Million thoughts are spinning round in my head. My pulse holds it down. I wanted to tell more about why I decided to come specifically in Kaliningrad. If you know me, probably you know that I really appreciate nature, and for me it's important to get away somewhere in the peace and quiet once in a while. Actually, not once in a while, quite often, to be honest. Be in nature, recharge my batteries. I just thought that Kaliningrad is such a unique place because it's by the sea. There are these beautiful lakes and forests and this unique ecosystem that I wanted to explore. I'm planning to have these little trips regularly while I'm staying here. So far I have already visited some small towns around Kaliningrad, and I've been to the sea a few times. For me it's just so beautiful, and I'm glad to be in such place. And also Kaliningrad is not a very big city. It's relatively quiet compared to big cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, so you can actually live here I feel like. On the other hand, I've realized that it's a very touristy place. Right now, it's not a touristy season at all. And actually, I was told that maybe it's not the best time to visit Kaliningrad because it's kind of gloomy at this time of year. There is not much to see, they said, but I just think that it's beautiful in any weather. It looks very different to the rest of Russia. Even in terms of nature, everything is different here, the plants, the birds, and it's actually not that cold, which is unusual for me because the place where I come from in Russia, in winter it gets really snowy and freezing outside, but here it's been very comfortable. So I enjoy it a lot. Also, this city is very interesting because of its history. Probably you know that this land belonged to different countries at different periods of time. You can see the influence of the West here. Of course, because it's Russia now, you feel that you're in Russia. There are Russian people walking around, but at the same time it's in the middle of Europe. You can see these pretty German houses everywhere and this European heritage. It's very interesting. Even though I have mixed feelings when I go and explore these sites. For example, if I go and see these old German houses and German churches, on the one hand it's really pretty and fascinating to learn about them, but on the other hand there are some buildings that are in not very good condition. They're like run down, and some medieval castles and German churches are destroyed still. They look like ruins. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, if you look at the historical reasons why it happened, it kind of makes sense. And you just have to accept the situation that it is what it is. In Soviet times, when this territory became part of the Soviet Union, of course, some buildings were destroyed and they just didn't want to invest money into renovating them because those buildings symbolized the West. The Soviet Union didn't support the West, and that's why those buildings were still in that condition. But on the other hand, with time they started renovating them, and now you can see that some of them are in really good conditions. It's kind of controversial, you know, when I travel around and see that it's kind of like Europe, but at the same time it's not completely Europe, because if these buildings were in Europe, probably they would be renovated now. But again, it is what it is. There is actually some beauty in this state of architecture. Of course, if you come to Kaliningrad, you will see all these Soviet buildings as well, because during the Second World War, a big part of the city was destroyed. The Soviet government, when they came, they built these simple Soviet buildings that were very quick to build. I can say one more time that it's an interesting place. One thing that I didn't expect about Kaliningrad is that it's a very touristy place. Now it's actually not a tourist season, so there are, people say, not so many tourists here, but still I see quite a few of them on the streets, and I can't even imagine what's gonna happen in spring and summer. Probably the streets will be flooded with tourists. One thing that I didn't expect is that since it's a touristy place, it's kind of hard to find a long-term flat renting contract. Again, I don't know what's gonna happen in spring, because the flat that I've rented here, I can only live there until the end of April, because then the tourist season starts and my landlady wants to rent out the flat on a daily rate to tourists. Of course, it's a lot more profitable to her, and I just hope that I'll be able to find another flat at the end of April. But if not, again, I don't know what's gonna happen, we will see. Anyway, I will keep you updated, of course. One more thing I wanted to share is about my YouTube channel. It's also kind of strange what's been going on. Maybe you have noticed that I haven't been very consistent recently. And the thing is, I was experiencing some issues with YouTube. I don't know if you know, but YouTube actually demonetized all Russia-based channels. It was a couple of months ago. My channel was demonetized as well. This was a little bit demotivating, even though I haven't been receiving any money from YouTube for for years now. Because of sanctions, all the money that was coming to my Russian bank account was taken by the Russian bank as a commission for the transaction in dollars. Felt a little bit sad, but I knew that there were ways how to fix it. For example, I could change the location of my channel, but also with YouTube it's kind of complicated because to do that you have to have an ID of another country. It was possible to get an ID in Georgia. For that I got a scooter driver's license in Georgia, which also was an adventure. I had to learn the theory and then travel to a special city in Georgia where you can get the license. I did the test and I passed it. I got the license, and then I was trying to change the location on YouTube, but YouTube wouldn't allow me to do that because of some phone verification problem. It's a long story, very complicated and kind of frustrating, but then I was able to verify my phone, and then there was a problem with the YouTube AdSense account, and then basically YouTube told me that I ran out of attempts to change the location and I can try only in a couple of months, but I was already leaving Georgia. So I kind of gave up, unfortunately. To try again I have to be in Georgia, but I'm not in Georgia now. Anyway, I'm not losing hope. I'm still gonna continue with my videos because I really love sharing my journey with you, and I know that for some of you it gives inspiration and it's informative. I'm gonna continue, and I hope that in the future, down the road, I will be able to fix all of these issues. I know that YouTube and building a blog is a long journey and it's just one bump on the road, and you shouldn't be discouraged. Oh my god, making this video is such an adventure. Now I have an issue with my SD card. There is not enough space, even though before coming here I had deleted almost everything from it, but it's okay, it doesn't matter. Now I'm recording with my phone and I think it's okay. And now it has just started raining. Great. Yeah, I was saying that no matter what is happening, I'm not losing hope, and I'm gonna continue making my videos and posting them and sharing my stories with you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching my videos, liking them and commenting, and I wanted to say special thanks to the people who support me on Patreon and PayPal, because it means the world to me. Now my plan is to go to a market here in Kaliningrad. You know, usually I don't go to markets, I buy everything in supermarkets and shops, but because I'm going home next week, I wanted to buy some little presents for my friends and family. I know that here in the market you can buy some interesting candy and chocolates from Europe mainly, and also from the local businesses, which is really interesting. Well, I'm gonna take you to this market with me, so let's go. By the way, this has been my setup. There is this pretty lake, not as pretty as the sea though, where I was originally recording my video, but still, and this empty botanical garden, and this tree is so beautiful. Okay, but now I need to go. To be honest, I got really cold while recording this video, so I need to go to the market fast to get warm. Yeah. Had a little tea break. Now I'm finally warm, and now we'll go to the food market. I'm almost there. I will show you. This market is crazy, it's so huge. There were so many fruits, vegetables, fish, meat, candy, everything. And the fruit section was really incredible. I don't even know how the city can eat so much fruit and veggies, but they all look so beautiful. Kind of reminded me of the markets I saw in Central Asia. This market is not worse. Yeah, there was so much food. I'm shocked. And I bought some candy for my family and friends. Of course, I bought the candy and then at the next shop I saw that you could buy the same candy but cheaper, but I guess it's always like that with markets. And also I bought some eels, which I didn't expect. I knew that here they sell really nice fish because Kaliningrad is next to the Baltic Sea, but apparently eels, it's a thing that you have to try here because they sold a lot of them. So I bought 2 again for my family. So now I'm finally gonna go home. I have all the presents. Oh, also I bought some fruits. Yeah, I wish I lived closer to this market. I would go here every day. I think it's so much better than going to a supermarket.